Hello friends, welcome to today's video. I'm so excited. I'm doing a book haul. I think the last time I did one was a little while ago, but I just thought it was about time. It kind of looks different. I'm actually in like a little closet. We recently moved to a farm and I'm still in the process of figuring out where things are going, where my books are going. And to be honest, the majority of the stuff we moved were a lot of our books and my kids' books. We're all big reader nerds. It's awesome, but it's kind of hard when you're moving. But I wanted to share, I've been kind of accumulating some books over the last few months. A lot of them were very like discounted or ones I found for free at my new library and things like that. Some were gifts and all that kind of stuff. So I just wanted to share with you. And if you are new, thank you so much for stopping by. And let's get into this book haul. And I will be honest, this might be the only book haul for a while because, to be honest, I'm trying not to spend a lot of money. Like I said, we just recently moved. Things are kind of tight, to be honest, and I am just really trying to utilize my library, and my library is really amazing where I am. I'm able to get access to a lot of new materials pretty quickly, not like where I was before in the cities. Now I'm in a more rural area and the library here is amazing. So that's also been one thing. I've read a lot from just my local library and not spending any money. So if I can find obviously some free affordable books, I do pick them up, but just a disclaimer, you might not see a haul probably for a while, maybe until my birthday, who knows. So let's get started. Not really any particular order. This one is the Atlas 6. I won't go into too much about each book either, but I believe it's like dark academia, I think is what it is. I think some elements of fantasy. I don't know much, but I've heard a lot about it. I don't know if I'll like it or not, but I mean, we'll try it. I got it at my local consignment, like thrift store place, and my husband found it for $1, so it's a really good deal. Then this next one was a gift from my bookish best friend, Laura. She passed this on to me because I'm going through I know this technically is part of the Flesh and Fire series, which I have not gotten into. I want to, but I read the, not Fire Nash, oh my gosh, why can't I think of the other series by her? And so I do want to get into this one, but she had gotten some extra copies or whatever, sizing, so she was like, do you want this copy? And I was like, sure, I won't turn down a free book because I'll be one that I have. So once I get to the series. Then I got this one from my sister. Actually, she has access to my Amazon book list and she sent me this as just like a fun, like a little Valentine's Day gift to me. So it was really sweet. She surprised me. So it was Love on the Brain, and I have only ever read the first one, I think Love Hypothesis. I thought it was good. That was the only book I ever read by Allie Hazelwood. I do like the STEM elements of it, which I know this one is too, and I think it's her friend is in it, but I'm not like super obsessed, but I am excited to try it. I think they are fun romances, but like I said, I'm not like dying to read it right away, but I am curious to try it, so. Then this, I started a little bit, and this is, if you watch any of my other videos, you know that I love this series, The Boys of Tommen, still don't know how to say it. And this is one of my all-time favorite series. I'm so excited because some of my other friends, I've gotten them into it and they just love it. And this is the final book in the series, which I think is also why I'm scared to finish it, because it's about one of my favorite couples that I've been waiting to read. And it's about Gibbsy and his friend, Claire? Yeah. And I'm just so excited, but I'm also really sad because then the series will be over and I just don't want it to be over yet. So, but really excited to have this one. I've collected all the other books. They are pretty big chunkers, but there's just something, if you get it, you get it. It's just, they're so good. And so I'm excited to see how this one is. I'm really hoping it's good and it does not disappoint. Then this book I actually got for, I think $1, ended up being like $1. There was like some sort of Amazon promotion thing with like, if you picked one of the Read with Jenna books or something, you got $10 off, and this book was like $11, so it ended up being $1. And I have seen this around. I know it has received a lot of awards, and it's called Solido, and it is a memoir. And I believe it's about, yeah, so the author Javier, he was born in El Salvador in 1990, and I believe this is his journey coming as an undocumented immigrant to the United States. So I'm excited to read this, and just, I think I've been getting a little braver and going more into nonfiction and trying to learn more things. Especially, I feel like memoirs are a really great way to get into that. I just love hearing people's stories, and so I definitely want to get to this one as well. Then this one was also a random one that I just found at the thrift store. It was $1, like at the consignment store place or whatever it's called. But this one, I can't, is it Kyland? I don't know how to read it. Keeland, I don't know. But it's by Mia Sheridan. It's the same author that did Archer's Voice, which I was not like super obsessed with. I know a lot of people love that book. It was okay for me. I didn't hate it, but it wasn't like, for me, it didn't hit the same as like it did for some people, but I'm curious to try. I love romance, so I thought it's a contemporary romance, I believe, and so I was curious to try it out and see where it goes. And yeah, that's all I really know about it. Then this one is also another one that Laura passed on to me. It is the book by Lucy Score called Maggie Moves On. I am trying to get through a lot of Lucy Score's books. I've read a lot of her other series or other books, and I've enjoyed them, so I'm excited to get to this one. I think it's a cute cover. Of course, love any puppies or kitties in a book. I'm guessing something about moving and maybe enemies to lovers. I don't know. But yeah, so I'm just excited to try it out and see what it's like. Then this one is one that I got. It is like nonfiction, self-help, I guess maybe would be considered, but it's called The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry, and it is a book, again, just talking about the idea of just like hurry and rushing and kind of like what that has to do in our society today, and just looking at how to better eliminate that and how it will like improve your life, and just different tips, and also looking at it from a biblical perspective about like rest and peace and like what it says in the Bible about that. And so I just, yeah, it's been really good so far. I'm a little bit into it, like a quarter, but it's written good so far. Like it's easy to understand, because sometimes I have a hard time with like self-help or nonfiction books, but this is going okay so far. Then this next book I actually just picked up today at the library. This was on the free cart in our library, and it's called The Road Back to Sweetgrass. And I was curious about this just because it takes place in northern Minnesota, and I live in Minnesota. I live in southern Minnesota now, but anything in Minnesota I'm kind of curious to try. And it follows a trio of American Indian women from the 1970s to the present time. And so I think it's just kind of like coming of age and looking at their lives. I'm not really sure other more than that, but I'm guessing maybe how they're relating to society and their lives as Native American women and all those kinds of things, especially in the time of like the 70s to now. So I just was curious. It's not a super big book. I think it's not even 200 pages. Yeah, it's not even 200 pages. So I'm hoping it'll be a good one. I'd never even heard of this, but again, it was a Minnesota book, so I wanted to try it out. Then this next one I got shared as one. This was actually passed on to me from a new friend of mine. She was getting rid of some books, and I was curious to try it out. I've never heard of the series, but it is a Christian historical fiction, I think romance, I believe is what it is. I don't even know what this series, oh, the Angel of Mercy series. And it's a promise, I think it's, basically I think it's taken during the times of, is it the West, when people are like settling? And I think she becomes a nurse. There's a few different characters. It's this kind of series, but it's just one of those kind of like historical romance. I don't know, like I was like, sure, I'll try it out. It kind of makes me think of like When Calls the Heart, or that kind of vibe, I guess. And so I was kind of curious. I'm like, I bet, and my friend was like, it's super cheesy, like kind of predictable, but it's kind of a fun read. So I was like, well, I'll give it a go. You know, you never know. Sometimes you're in the mood for one of those. So there's that whole series. Then this one was also one I found for free on my library discard cart, and this one actually wasn't even a library book. I think sometimes people maybe drop off books or whatever, but this one is called Over the Line. I've never heard of this author, I don't think, but I believe it's like a hockey romance, and I don't know anything about it. I've never seen this. It just says that she's snowed in, I guess, with this famous hockey player, so I don't know. We'll see. It just kind of, I saw it and I was like, oh, that seems like a cute little romance, so we'll try it out and see. But yeah. Then this one was one that I picked up again for I think $1 or $2, but I had seen this around and I kind of just wanted to try it. It looks really cool. I just like the cover. But it is the book Silver in the Bone. And I believe this is part of is it duology or trilogy? I want to say duology, but it's some sort of fantasy, I'm guessing so. But it says there's 3 magics to be feared: curses born of the wrath of gods, poisons that turn soil to ash, and that which leaves one dark of heart and silver in the bone. So I don't really know much. Again, I just kind of want to go into blind, but I just really love the cover too, and I thought, well, it's on sale for like $1 or $2 or whatever, so I picked it up, and I definitely want to get to it. It's not too crazy big for like a fantasy book, I think, too. Then this is one also I found for like I think $3 at that same sale at my store. And it is actually my first ever Stephen King. I have read nothing by Stephen King. I still haven't read this yet. But I am very particular because I can't read super scary things, and I know obviously he's written horror and I cannot do that. But this one I don't think it's very like horror. I think this one is more fantasy elements, I believe. So I just wanted to try this one. I've heard some good things. I've heard like really good awards or just reviews and things like that. So I wanted to give it a try because, like I said, I've never read anything by Stephen King, so I thought, why not branch out a little bit and try it. So yeah, so I did get this one. Then one of the things that I was so excited, I mentioned I think maybe in one of my last videos, was that I finally got on the subscriber list 2 Fairyloot, and I was so beyond excited about it. But to be honest, I'm going to share, I got only 2 books from them so far, but I don't know if I will be continuing with the subscription, to be honest. I just, a few different things, so maybe I'll put a little caveat in here. I love the books. I think they're beautiful. A lot of them are, the different covers, but I just have a few little complaints about them, I guess. For one, obviously the cost, and then you end up paying for shipping. By the time you pay for shipping, it's between like $37 to $40 or so for one book each month, which is a lot of money, to be honest, for one book. And they are very cool special editions. They're usually signed by the author, which I appreciate. But that wasn't even so much so the issue, the cost. It was also just like I just had random kind of problems. And one of them I'll kind of show you, and I don't know, maybe I'm being nitpicky, or you guys let me know in the comments, but I just kind of feel like I don't know, like I guess I'll talk about it more when I come into it. So I'm not sure if I'm going to continue with Fairyloot because, again, just the cost. I don't need to have special editions, right? Like at the end of the day, I need to save money. I have children, I have a new home, I can get books from the library, so I don't need to have the special editions. So I don't know, and which it sucks because I waited like 1.5 years to get on the list, but I don't know if I will continue. But the first one that I got was A Fate Inked in Blood, and I'm so excited. I'm about like halfway through the book, and I just love, again, the sprayed edges, and I love the character art. I think this is my favorite part on the inside, is I love the character art a lot of the times. It's just so cool to see the characters, and it's just really fun. I really love it. It's just, it's so cool. And this one is signed by the author as well. I have never read anything by this author. I think she has like another series, I believe, which now I can't find. I'm like, oh yeah. So it's on the inside. It's signed by the author. And this one, the only other thing too is with Fairyloot, and I don't know for others of you who have Fairyloot, like it takes so long to get books. I don't know if it's just where I live, or is everyone like that? Because it takes like forever for me to get the monthly. Usually they're like 2 months behind for the monthly thing. Like, or they're always like, sorry, we're delayed. So I don't know what exactly is going on there. But that's one thing too, I'm like, they never really come. So, but I did receive this one. I really like it so far. It's about Vikings, like that time. It's elements of fantasy as well, but it's really fun. Then this one is one that I got, and this is kind of where I had some issues. I have not read this yet, but it is A Feather So Black, and I want to say it's kind of like a black swan. Beautiful spines. I love the colors. And this one is also, it has really cool art on the inside. I think there's like a love triangle between the main character and then it is also signed by the author. But my thing, so this is what I had. I don't know if I'll be able to show you guys on camera, is that I received the book. First of all, it was really late. And then when it comes, it's just like, I don't know if it's thrown around in the box or what it is. But then it's hard to show you guys maybe on camera. I'll try. but there's like, I don't know the lighting, I'm sorry you guys, I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but there's like scratches on like the you know, the sprayed edges, so like you can clearly see the scratches. And then on the inside, so I showed them, I said, you know, I don't know if it was because of the shipping, like I sent a video and pictures, and like all this right here, I don't know if you guys can tell, again, it's kind of hard on the, and it's a darker book, but like all this is worn off, and then the book is like coming undone, like the glue from the spine, I don't know, it's hard to tell. And then there's also like globs, like you see these like globs of glue, and I know, again, maybe it's nitpicky, and the same thing in the top too, like it's worn off right here, so like if you were to display it, like you can see, and then there's like dents right here, like by the top of the spine, and again, or like along the bottom too, it's like worn off, like this whole thing, if you can kind of see, it is worn right here. And it's hard because I'm not normally one to be like, oh, nitpicky, like, you know, demand, but I just kind of like, I contacted them because I was like, I ended up paying like $40 for a monthly, you know, for this book, and I was like, okay, if you're paying for a special edition and all these things, I'm like, I feel like it should come in like really good condition. And then they said like they have a section on their website where it's like considered normal wear and tear, and so they were just like, no, that's just like how it is. But I was like, okay, but maybe some of the things, but I was like, having globs of glue like on the front pages, like it just kind of was a little bit kind of like left a bad taste, because I was kind of like, $40 is a lot for people, especially in today's economy, and then to have it come super late and not even be in the best shape, I just was like, you know, yeah. So that's just kind of where I am with that. So I don't know, let me know what you guys think. Like, I love the books, but I just, you know, I don't know. I mean, my friend were talking because I was like, am I like, you know, petty or something? But she was like, for that price that you're paying, like it should come, and I don't know, like it's just, I feel like, yeah, I don't know. Those are my thoughts. So I'm still trying to figure it out. It is very beautiful. I'm excited to read it. But yeah, there's that. Then this next one my friend gave to me, and my friend Laura again. It's called Heartless, and this is the same author who did the Lunar Chronicles, which I'm trying to work through. And she had actually found this at just like a, I think at the thrift store or like a sale. So she was like, I picked it up for you. I've heard good things about this, a lot of her books. So I think it's YA, I believe. Don't really know what it's about. Is it The Nonsense That Is Wonderland Gets a Revenge? Oh, so it's maybe something about Wonderland and kind of retelling. So there's that one. Then the last few books here. This one is also one that I found on the discard pile at my library, but I've really been, I don't know, like getting back into historical fiction, which is what I originally really was into. And so this one is I Was Anastasia. And anything with Anastasia too, I don't know, it just really has me in a chokehold. Like I wanna know all the things about Anastasia. But this takes place in Russia in 1918, and then it jumps back to Germany in 1920. So supposedly there's this young woman who apparently like really looks like Anastasia. So I just want to see, and it was, yeah, this card book, so it was pretty good condition. I was like, I'll just try it out and see. If all else fails, I'll pass it on to someone else. Then this one was also another one that I found on the discard shelf, and this one is Mr. Penumbra's, I think, 24-hour bookstore. And right away, anything with a bookstore or books, I'm going to be intrigued about and curious. This one says it was named Best Book of the Year, apparently. I forget what year it's from, but it talks about how it was like won a lot of awards. But it says the Great Recession has shuffled Clay Janin away from life as a San Francisco web design drone and into the aisles of Mr. Penumbra's 24-hour bookstore. But after a few days on the job, Clay discovers that the store is more curious than either its name or its gnomic owner might suggest. So I don't know, some sort of kind of magical realism maybe in this book. I'm just curious. Again, it's not a super big one, but curious to see what it's about. It's like 280 pages or so. And then the last book that I picked up was Emily Henry, Funny Story, probably like many people did. Emily Henry is one author that I do usually purchase her books right away. I've liked a lot of her books, and I have actually read this already. I'll have my review coming up soon, by the end of the month or beginning of July. But I did purchase this one. I do wish, I noticed that she started like with her last book making them hardcover. I wish they were paperback like her earlier books were, because I like purchasing her books right away. I'm like, I don't want to wait till she comes out in paperback, but I did purchase this one. I like the cover of it, and I thought it was cute and fit very well with her other books as well. And yeah, so it's a romance, and I just love her books. I feel like they're so much more than just a romance usually, and they're just really fun. Yeah, so there is everything there. Massive pile. So thank you guys so much, and stay tuned for hopefully seeing some of these books in upcoming videos. I'm trying to work through obviously this pile, and then also I have my TBR cart, which is full. And if you guys maybe like to see more of what's on my TBR cart, I don't know if that would be interesting to you, or like my all the physical books that I have on there, let me know. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye everyone.